Welcome to another episode of Jamal Bryant's Let's Be Clear. Today is nothing but cheesesteaks. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I want you to be a part of a conversation with my brother, my friend, and comrade at arms. He is now Godfather, not of pizza, but of cheesesteaks all over America. I'm glad to have with me my brother, Derrick. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. I am just excited to have a front row seat to see what God can do in a regular person's life. It has been absolutely amazing. I've known you for 2 years. In the 2 years that I've known you, I got to clutch my chest like, wow, he did it for my guy. A lot of people are listening don't know that you have just closed an amazing deal.
Yeah.
That not that many people have ever had an opportunity. I'm going to go backwards. Let's talk about this last deal you just closed.
Well, I just did a 10-unit deal, my first deal when I first started franchising with Derrick Lewis.
Yes.
He was a Pepsi president.
Yep.
But the story behind Derrick Lewis was amazing because I was at a business assembly years ago. Richie Lou Dennis was my investor, and Derrick was he was doing a speech. And he was saying that he was a Pepsi president. And I'm like, oh, it's a brother up here. And I'm from Philly, and I sell Pepsi, and I sell a lot of Pepsi. Mind you, this is important what I'm about to say. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes opening your mouth and speaking for what you think you deserve and how hard you work at something, somebody will hear you.
You're right.
So I was in the back of the room like, yo, I sell Pepsi, and I own Big Dave Cheesesteaks. But needless to say, that brother was at my business 3-4 days later with his team trying to figure out how can he help me. And I thought that was amazing for him to stand up that way.
But what's the deal? You still ain't told the deal.
Hey, man, the deal is he putting 10 units in Orlando, 10 stores in Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I came right back after that with 5 stores that's going into South Carolina. So I sold 15 units my first month of franchising. So it's been an amazing journey.
He is being humble and understated. But that's 15 units of franchise stores of Dave Cheesesteak. Those of you that used to go to Subway, those of you that used to go to Fireman's, all of that is over.
Yes.
I'm telling you, the next sandwich connoisseur is the brother who's standing with me. Yes.
And now I have a total of 22 units. I mean, I got 7 on my own, and then just closing these out. And then I got some more announcements coming as soon as we finish out these LOIs. But life has been good because, you can work so hard at just, like, waiting for people to clap for you. But see, with me, Dr. Bryant, I've been clapping for myself the whole time.
Listen.
I ain't been waiting for nobody to water my grass or water my soil. I've been doing it for myself. I only need a guide.
Nobody can hear the sound of an applause when you clap with one hand.
Oh, yes, they don't.
To be able to do that by yourself is absolutely amazing. And not only that, they're not just drinking Pepsi. You got another deal.
Oh, no. They're not just drinking Pepsi.
You got another deal.
Yeah, so I did a spares deal that's about to come out. I've been working on for about 8 months, going back and forth negotiating. And I can't wait to really put this one out there because it's going to show people that just because of how you start, it's not how you finish. Like, there's so many different arms to when it comes to Big Dave Cheesesteaks that I'm involved in, when it comes from community to business to philanthropy work. All of those things are wrapped around a sandwich. So I made it bigger than food, and I just want the world to see, like, you can aim at something, but the target is much bigger when you work for it.
No, that's great. Let me say to you that I don't just talk about it on the side. I've been there. I am a patron. And it's absolutely amazing. Your staff is killing. They are absolutely great. They are incredible people.
That's how I feel about you when I come to see one of your services.
Man, thank you. I appreciate it. John Kennedy, former president, said anybody who has been a great success has had great failure. That you can never succeed unless you have failed at something.
I agree with that.
And a lot of people who are listening to you today are watching today, hearing these multi-million-dollar deals, all of these franchises, but that ain't where your story starts.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, we're going to be here a while.
Yeah, well, let's be here a while. I want you to tell people your story.
I just want to go all the way back. So I grew up in West Philadelphia.
Yeah.
2-parent household, mother and father, youngest sibling out of 3. I always thought I, knew it all. Was always that kid that was always out in the streets. But, for me, before I get to the rest of the story, I was my mother's biggest headache.
Wow.
Now I'm her biggest blessing.
Yeah.
I was the one that, was going to wind up, getting locked up or, was going to get in trouble. Let me tell you the sad part about this. In Philly, the violence is so bad. But when I was coming up, whenever the news was on, and my mother heard about, somebody getting shot or something, she would blow everybody up around me to try to get in touch with me to make sure it wasn't me.
Wow.
Yeah. So these are the type of things you don't realize growing up. But then when you become an adult and you got kids of your own and you sit there and you look back and you see the things, how my parents went upon with me to get me out of trouble, to keep me out of trouble.
Yes.
It was a blessing. So 1996, this was really like started my family with the South. My grandfather was a cement mason, and he's from Macon, Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, and Roberta, Georgia. That's where my family from. They're from the South.
Yeah.
They just moved up north. But check this out. My grandfather moved to Philly when he was 13 years old on his own to go get a job. So if you look at the average 13-year-old right now,
listen,
they ain't going to another state to go get a job.
No.
So it was principles.
They don't want to work in the summer.
It was principles and morals back then that was different. So like my grandfather went there and he went to go get a job, and then he wound up bringing my grandmother to Philly, and they wound up creating the family I have now. But before I was even thought about, my family has always been a family of hustlers, entrepreneurs, just go-getters. And me growing up, I seen my father work every single day. He would come home, he'd work with my grandfather. He would have like white stuff all over him every day from working in construction.
Yeah.
And I would always see these men just going out there and go get it and just, taking care of their family. But as I got older, I started to see they were working and not using this. So I wanted to do it differently. I wanted to use
smart
this.
and not hard. Yeah.
So in 2005, man, I hate to say it this way, but the devil just kind of came into my family, and he started wiping my family out from cancer.
Wow.
So my aunt, she was my oldest aunt from my grandmother. She died in 2005 to cancer. I ended up in Georgia because of her, because when I came here, I knew that she would be the one to stick with me. She was the cool aunt. You got that aunt that just like hit with you. So I fought cancer with her, man, just like as if I had it. I fought it with her for about a decade. And she finally went away from here in 2005. And I'm this kid that come out the streets of Philly. I'm in this school now. I'm going to Clark Central High School in Athens, Georgia. I get shipped there in 2002 because I'm in the streets. I'm getting in trouble.
Right.
My parents got separated that year. So when I tell you I was getting hit all type of ways, so now I'm looking at this family who we got this covenant, we all together, to us breaking apart now. And now when I'm in Athens, I'm trying to figure out, what is life here? There's no people walking around, there's no buses, no trolleys. Like, I'm not used to this.
Right.
But I thank God every single day for him putting me in an environment I wasn't used to, because I only knew my neighborhood. I only knew the four walls of what was going on in my city. But when I got outside of that and I started going to school with different races and I started seeing how people was living, mind you, I'm catching a bus or walking to school. Down here, they 16 driving to school.
Right.
They ain't driving to school in Philly. We walking.
No, Baltimore either.
Yeah, we walking. No matter how cold it is outside, we walking. So like those things started to like gear me up, and I started to grow year to year to year. But I had to go through this storm, Dr. Bryant, and then I wound up losing my aunt, my father right after that, and then my uncle, which is the baby brother. So imagine your grandmother, the kids that she brung in the world, go out in the same order they came in.
Wow.
Yes. So
was that your wake-up call?
That was my wake-up call, because it was like, you know what? Life is not the life that I think it is now. I have to adjust to what life really is.
Yeah.
So that's me standing on my own 10 toes. Like, before my father died, the blessing that I got from him was, I'll raise you to be a man to stand on your own 10 toes, and I raise you to be the person I think you should be. And I know you would be the one to break the generational curse, right? So imagine a man that you respected. This is the closest man I put to God in my life.
Yeah.
Right? This was my father, my best friend, my everything. And that got stripped from me. And the same year that got stripped from me, Dr. Bryant, is the same year I got injured. A lot of people don't know that. I walked away with 5 back operations, being in a personal injury accident the same year my father died. So while I'm struggling, going through, losing my father, I'm now struggling with my health. I pinched the biggest nerve in your body. That's the sciatic nerve. That runs your legs, your everything. So for 5.5 years, I'm battling this thing, trying to learn how to walk again, get my steps back right. I'm hooked on opiates. I'm still stressed about losing my father. And then 2014, I get an opportunity to say, you know what? I'm moving back south. I know me staying in Philly was going to be a bad decision for me because I was that kid that wanted to be somebody, wanted to be special. I'll be around all my friends and I'll be like, nah, this ain't my life. I'm going to be the one that make it out, and I'm going to do something for us that we all can win from, even if they don't understand it now.
Right.
And that's how I carry my life now every single day. So in 2014, when I built this business, it was solely just to make my father proud.
He's got to be proud.
Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to make him proud. And out of all the things that I had happen to me, I got a blessing when I won a bunch of money, from a settlement, right?
Yeah.
So I come here, and I want every kid to listen to what I'm about to say. If you out there chasing a dream, if you out there, waiting for your NBA dream to happen, your rap career, your NFL career, when you get that big check, if you don't have residual income coming in, the way you spending it, you will be broke.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. So I spent the money in about 14 months. I spent 7 figures.
What was the dumbest financial decision you ever made? The dumbest thing I did was the same day I got the money, I bought a Corvette cash. Wow.
Same day I got it. I went and bought a Corvette cash money for I think it was 110, 115 when the Stingrays first came out. Yeah. Nobody in the city had it. I was the first one with it. They didn't even know what it was.
Right.
I remember going to compound and everybody coming on the parking lot like, what's that? And I'm like, it ain't out yet.
Yes.
But you don't understand that that's your fastest way to go broke. Because when you got $1 million and you take 200,000 out of it, you know what your mind gonna say? All right, I'm gonna replace this 200. I'm gonna add 800. Then you get to $500,000, you say, all right, I gotta replace this $500,000, so I'm gonna make an investment. But that investment you make 9 times out of 10 is gonna put you even more of a hole. Because until you learn what you want to do with your life, the purpose. Yeah. Let's talk about the purpose of your life and why you're doing these things, you're gonna lose it. It took me to lose every single thing to learn my purpose, and my purpose was people.
Yes.
I seen people walk away from me. I seen people love me. I seen people get me back in shape. So when you're looking at somebody that was broken, the only way you're going to get fixed is if that you can get out your own way. And I had to start getting out my own way year to year, learning that these are my mistakes. These are things I got to learn from. And you're going to have those roller coaster rides. You're going to have them downfalls. Yeah. You want to fail because you don't want to be the person that you're getting all your glory and all your glamour at something that you're not ready for, because on a higher scale, you're going to lose it right in front of everybody.
With a father deceased, aunt and uncle gone, are you coming up in an environment where is not that many examples? What was it inside of you that says there's got to be a different road for me?
To be honest, and I'm going to tell you a story, and you was part of it not even knowing that. And this happened this year. I was in your church, and Pinky was doing something with you, and you said something I'll never forget. It was almost like, don't be ashamed to let God be your biggest representative. Yeah. A lot of people can talk about religion and pray, and then when they come publicly, they don't know how to be themselves because religion, it might not be cool to them or cool to somebody else. I started living in my own purpose of what's cool to me.
Yeah.
And that was God. It was me just putting my all into him and knowing that he going to help me take these footsteps. As long as I take the footstep forward, he going to make my left one come with me. And that's what I started doing. And a lot of leaders like you, and just being a student, because if you think you know everything in this game, you're going to lose. So I'll listen to the little kid who bake cakes or whatever. Just give me some game, something that you're going through, so that if I haven't been through it, I can go and say, you know what? I'm going to take a different approach at that. And that's what I've been doing along this journey. A lot of people in the beginning try to take advantage of me because, I'm this kid coming out the streets. You got something special. You don't know what you really got. But let me tell you something about me. I play chess. I'll act stupid right in front of your face. Right. I'll act stupid right in front of your face because it's the thing. I need to know if you really care about me or you're trying to take advantage of me.
And that's important.
Yeah.
I heard a mentor say to me, the sign of maturity is not what you say yes to, but what you say no to.
Wow. Let me tell you. You almost made me jump on my seat with that one.
Okay.
Because I just told that to a big organization today. I can't say it because I don't want no lawsuits.
No, I got it.
But I told them today, I said, it ain't about how many yeses you hear. It's about how many no's you hear. And today I'm telling you no.
Yes.
Because I don't say yes to everything to make Instagram posts. I can care less about that. When I post stuff, I want to really make you be impactful. I want you to really get impacted from it because it's real.
Yeah.
Because there's a back end to it and not just a front end.
In success, what has been the hardest thing you've had to say no to?
Money.
Woo.
Money.
Don't leave that there.
Money.
Tell me why? Because so many people are striving towards that, pushing towards that that's their only aim, their only goal. To say no to money is foreign to a lot of people in the community.
Yeah, because once you learn to say no to money, you learning to be real with yourself. See, I'm built off of culture capital. It ain't about what's in the bank account. It's the people.
Yeah.
Every day these people support me. Every day they watching what I'm doing, my moves, helping me get through my dreams and my wills, my wants. But when you make the dollar sign your only target, it's nothing tangible with that. Because you can't take it with you.
Yes.
And it brings jealousy when you get it.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I could see that really made me wake up is the day that I knew that I was broke, right? Now check this out. My mind was rich, but my pockets was broke. From having that money, your lifestyle never changes because you like, oh, I'm about to go get this. I'm about to go do these things. Right. But the reality of it is you don't have it anymore. All you have is your word and yourself.
That's right.
So I lost everything. It's stripped from me. And the only thing that I told God that I could never been taken away from me is my soul. So my soul can't be bought.
Yeah.
The people buy me every day because they buying what I'm giving them and what I want to when I receive from them. But I'm not going to say, hey, give me $2 million and I'm going to do this thing. No, I'm doing everything off the will of my power and what I want to do. Nobody is going to be able to buy me.
A lot of people have not had the opportunity. You did a session, I was in 2 of them, of coaching entrepreneurs, young black entrepreneurs, putting them in the right direction. What is the most reoccurring mistake that you see entrepreneurs make?
Rushing it, man. The patience is the capital. I mean, because
somebody got to write that down.
Yeah,
patience is capital.
Yeah, patience is the capital. I had to learn that because listen, we live in a very fast-paced world now, right?
Yeah.
Everybody want to go on social media and talk about what they got going on. They want people to applaud for them. They want people to do all of these things. But why am I clapping when you don't know the deal you got? Why are you clapping if you don't know the deal you got?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that. Like, what are we really celebrating? Are we celebrating because I'm a black man and you gave me an opportunity?
Right.
Or I'm celebrating that I got treated right because I worked hard for it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And there's a difference.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
And I ain't the person that's just happy to just step my foot in the room if I belong there. If I belong there, then give me my chair.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
The Bible says that favor comes from finding a right woman. I'm a little bit older than you. There used to be a TV show called The Odd Couple. And it was 2 men who lived together who had absolutely nothing in common, but started living together and able to make life happen. Nobody in the world would think the king of cheesesteaks would marry the queen of vegetarianism. You became my brother-in-law because you married my sister.
Hey, man, and you know what's so good about that?
Yes.
Let me tell you what's so good about that is that things happen in mysterious ways and you never know why they happen, right?
Right.
So at the time, even before I even get to the relationship side, when I did meet you, right? So it's hard sometimes for somebody to grasp at something they can't understand because it's coming from the wrong mouth.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. That's good.
So when you start talking,
yeah,
you bring a different belief back in me, not even knowing it, right?
Wow.
So with Pinky, it was like this. She reached out to me when the George Floyd riots happened. My downtown location, the windows got broken into, busted out. And she slid in my DM and said, "Hey, do you need any help?" And I was like, "You know, I don't need no help, but I want to link up with you and let's see what we can work out and do some business together, right?"
Yeah.
When I linked up with her, first of all, I never had vegan food in my life. I met her up with her at Sunflower Cafe. We sat there with my cousin Dame, God rest his soul. I was talking to her, and I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
Wow.
I never had this attachment with not nobody. I'm talking
Right.
no human in this world. It was
Right.
almost like we can dream and jump off the cliff together, and it's okay because you're gonna share your parachute.
Right.
That's the way that we
That's
rocked
deep.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
And my cousin, he had passed away 2 years ago, but he told me the day I left that meeting with her, it was about an hour over. He kicking my foot like, all right, we done eating.
Let's go on now.
Yeah. So I get in the car and he looks over at me. He says, "That's gonna be your wife."
Wow.
He said, "I've never seen you really get in that deep with nobody you don't know." I said, "I know her. I met her a long time ago."
Wow.
And I had to understand that don't be scared of this blessing God trying to give you. Don't block this one.
Yeah.
Because you know something can feel too good to be true, and you trying to put up all these walls.
Right.
I just let all my guard down and just really let God just take me there. But the moment I knew that she really, really, really was the one,
Yeah.
we sat at her table, and she don't even know this what I'm about to tell you. We sat at her table in her apartment.
This is exclusive
This
on.
is exclusive.
Let's be clear. Y'all got
This
to
is-
lean in on this.
You getting exclusiveness.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I sat at her table in her apartment, and we was on that blue couch with the sessions made about. We was on that blue couch.
Yes.
And she said to me, she said, "What do you want to do to help the community? Let's come up with something cool, right?" I said, "It'd be cool if we can bail out some inmates, right?" Do you know, she literally, it was like she had so many connections in her Rolodex. She's trying to call people just to get it done. And I was like, this is the person I need. I need somebody that would jump with me
Right.
and not stop me from jumping.
Yes.
Because in some relationships, whether it's personal, professional, it could just be business, whatever you want to call it, your partner might say, "It's not the time, not right now."
Right.
I needed somebody that always gonna say, "Right now, let's go. Let's
No, I
keep
love it.
the foot on the gas." And I think that's what made it so special with us is that we was right now, and now it's lasting forever.
In politics, the power couple is Barack and Michelle Obama. In entertainment, is Jay-Z and Beyonce. But we've not had a power couple in business.
No.
So what it is that you all are doing is really showing a whole nother frame. And I want you to really unpack, because on TikTok, Instagram, it's this whole thing on don't deal with nobody who don't bring nothing to the table. So somebody who is hungry, somebody who's a go-getter, what do you recommend to them, and what do they look for in finding a person who will be a partner, not just in life, but a partner in business? Because a lot of people just are hitchhikers.
Yeah, true.
And just want to be for the ride.
Sometimes you got to throw a little test out there and say you're broke and see if that person, but like if I was talking to you, if I didn't know
Yes.
you from a can of paint, if every day I woke up and I can link with you and your words deposit into my spiritual bank account,
Wow.
making me feel good as a person,
Yes.
then you bringing something to the table.
Mm.
Because sometimes a lot of people look at it like this, like, what is that person physically doing to help me?
Yes.
Right? Sometimes picking up that phone and being able to talk to a realist, somebody telling you things that other people not going to tell you, is
Yes.
that deposit they depositing into you. So for me, even with Pinky, it was like I had somebody that was like so real, so truthful, that was just ready to just like take over the world with me, like saying, "Listen, what we got to do these things that we want to do, and let's do them."
Yeah.
And I think that's what it takes for anybody in business, professionally, personally, somebody just to have that willpower to say, "I know what you bring to the table because I know what you depositing," and everything don't have to be money.
Yes.
Sometimes even right now, I mean, it get a little lonely when you get a little lonely at the top. You know,
Yeah.
it do. It get I don't have that many friends around me no more. But you know what? I had to set to side myself and say, you know what? God ain't bring me here to have 20 people hanging around me.
Yeah.
He brought me here to have millions and millions of people understanding who I am and what I'm going to deposit into them as a vessel. So my friends is the people I don't even know.
Wow.
Because I'm going to keep on talking and keep on giving a message. So when people say how many friends I got millions of friends because there's millions of people that know who I am now.
Yeah. One writer said it's lonely at the top if you don't take anybody with you.
Yeah.
Come from Philly. Philly
Yeah.
to me is the twin sister to Baltimore.
It is.
It is. There's only 3 cities like it in the world: Philly, Baltimore, Detroit. They the same city. If
Yep.
you can make it in
Yep.
any of them 3,
You can make it there,
You
you
can make
there.
it all in all 3.
I agree.
Philly, Baltimore, and Detroit is the exact same city. And one of the hardest things for guys who I grew up with, who I came through with, was hard realizing the guilty of association.
Yep.
And one of the hardest things you have to do as a success is had a cutoff game. We only have cutoff game with people we date.
Exactly. But think about but think about what I'm gonna tell you. It's what's not cool in our society we cut off. And sometimes we blocking the biggest blessing that was going to take us to that next level doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're doing something that makes you uncomfortable, right? Think about how many people that could have been. You heard? I think Jadakiss said this a long time ago. It's a guy up north better than Jordan, but he didn't get that shot, right?
Right.
Because we get right there and it gets hard. But that's when God's saying, are you going to work for one more step for what I'm trying to give you so that you can understand the blessing?
Yeah.
Sometimes we in it, we make money, we do things, but we don't really understand the blessing because we're getting so many of them. Well, I had to sit back and had to understand my blessings and say, you know what? Because we all do this. We'll sit and have a million blessings come our way.
Yeah.
And then the one thing that don't happen for you, you will say, God, why? Or how can I do something different, God, to get this blessing? But you ain't thinking about the million other blessings he gave you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, the session is so important to me because I go on these segments, right? And then I'll see somebody that need help, that need pouring into, that need fixing, right?
Right.
And then you can look at your life and say, man, I got everything I need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you need those things. You need to see these things to say, I actually am blessed. I actually have everything I need.
Yeah.
I want more, but that's different. What you want and what you need and what you have is total different things. And so I had to learn my wants and my needs was different. Like, you can want to be a millionaire. You can want to have successful business. But what do you really need right now to make you proud? And for me, it was changing my trajectory of my family, because all of us may have came from money. It may have been passed to the wrong hands hundreds of years ago before you got here.
Yeah.
It can happen to us now.
Agreed.
So when people say they want to get wealthy, they want to change their family, you got to change your kids. You got to get them in the same mindset as you, because if I'm dead and gone and I pass the wealth to my kid and all my kid want to do is party out my whole life savings away that I worked hard for, the trajectory of me breaking my curse is not going to happen.
82% of black businesses never get to the second generation.
Nope. Because
the kids drop the ball. What is it that you are putting in your kids to make sure, even if they don't want to do cheesesteaks, they don't want to do slutty vegan, what are you instilling in them about business that you want to see live on after you?
I get asked this question probably every interview I do, right? Yeah. And I don't force it on them. But just think about what I'm about to tell you right now. So if my father was a pastor,
yeah,
and my mother was a pastor,
yeah,
I would indirectly learn God.
Yeah.
Just being around it.
Yes.
My kids are around two of the top entrepreneurs in the country. Every single day they hear me and Pinky on the phones all day long.
Right.
They watching us do it. I'm going to wait and see how it embed into them, the business side of it, because I learned business indirectly. It's things in my company right now that I just sat around long enough until I learned EBITDA, until I learned profit and loss, until I learned these things. I didn't go to somebody and say, hey, teach me EBITDA, teach me how to do a P&L. I got taken advantage of so many times I had to learn it.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now for my kids, I let them know, I've already changed y'all lives, because y'all ain't coming up in a neighborhood with an annual household income is $30,000. Y'all live in a country club.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm letting you know this right now. Yes. You already ain't living the life that I live.
10 steps ahead.
Yes. So for me, that's the blessing for me. But let me tell you what the curse. The curse is you can give a kid so much, indirectly knowing you giving it to them because of your lifestyle, right. You can ruin them. So everything my kids get, they know is a blessing. They know, like right now, when I leave here, I'm doing the daddy-daughter dance with my two oldest girls. Yep. I'm going to go put on my suit and be there for them. But these are things that I do out my day that I make sure that they still feel special. They still feel wanted, because we get so lost into like our careers and our lifestyle. And you ever heard somebody say, you want a guy on the couch taking care of the kids all day watching TV, or you want somebody out there making the money, right? I got to be both.
Yeah.
And I got to figure out how to be both, because I have father neglect sometimes. I regret. And I'm sitting there like, how can I be a better father? And the people around me are like, man, you a really good dad. Because I'm hard on myself when it comes to that, because I seen my dad do a blue-collar job and never left me behind and never feel like I didn't have a father.
No, that's a blessing.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a blessing. What would you say? There are people who don't know anything about tech. They don't know anything about computers. if a young person is listening to us today, or even somebody who's in a job crisis, what were the 3 areas of entrepreneurship you would push people in?
First, before I even get to that, I would tell them to go hang around a whole group of people that they would never hung around in their life.
Wow.
And that's going to teach you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
I've literally did case studies on my own life, just going different places. Like when I was in my gas station,
Yeah.
I would go to the library that was on the Alpharetta, and I would go sit in there and I would listen to people talk. See, I may sometimes just go in a room and don't say too much because I'm learning. And what I came to go, to get received. Some of us, it's like if a guy came in there and he wanted to learn God, but he trying to teach you God and he never studied it.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was in places that I never studied how to be a professional. I had to listen. You're going to have different ways on how to be taught, but you're going to be the best student because you know how to learn it. So I just was learning it, and when it comes to the tech world, hang with your kids.
Oh, yes.
Hang with your kids because my daughters, they on TikTok all day.
Oh, yeah.
I can't grasp it. I can't understand it. But the Gen Zs, like, they coming into the world. Like, when I was born, I had the little, that little steering wheel, the little race car thing. Yeah. That was the most technology I had, that little toy and my buddy dial. That I used to carry around every single day. Yeah. When I lost my buddy, it hurt it. But anyway, but these are the things I grew up off of. Right now, watch this. I want to say 1999, 2000. You got these Apple computers coming in now, right? Yeah. Remember the one with they had the clear backs on them?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so now you got computer class, right? Now you go into computer class, and now you got a teacher trying to teach you technology, and you never seen it in your life. These kids are getting iPads out the womb. Yeah. My youngest is 1 year old. Yeah. iPad. You get what I'm saying? So but these are the things that we have in this world that we didn't have. So I would say get around the younger kids and really learn it and see what they want. And with business especially, build you a team that you ain't the only person on the team knowing the technology. You want all the youth to come up and tell you what's the trend, what's going on. I mean, I'm 36 years old, but it's words they use in slang now. I'm lost. Oh, listen. And I never thought I was going to be that one because I used to be around my grandparents you don't know what I'm talking about. I feel like that now.
Oh, yeah. I still need you to drop them on me, 3 of them. So whether that's laundromats, whether that's,
so
what is it?
I'm going to give it to you.
Yes.
All right, so you said from the tech world, right?
No, not the tech. Having nothing to do with technology.
Not in the tech world?
Yes.
Business?
Yes. 3 businesses you would tell people to start that can be lucrative. A degree is not required. All they got to do is grind and hustle, but it's there. It's underexplored in our community.
I'm not gonna mention food because this ain't for the weak.
Yes,
so this is a different animal.
Yes.
I would go transportation because cars is always needed. Any type of transportation, you can build apps. You can do any of these things. You don't have to actually have the physical lot of selling cars. I would say transportation. Right. I would say the medical field, and I would say the last one I would have to say tech because I think tech is just. It's going into a space where you're going to need it. I mean, look at the cars. I mean, you got cars now that's running off electric. I think in the next 10 years, most of the cars will migrate from gas to electricity. And that's something that I'm adjusting to because I don't like them. I like to hear the sounds of my cars. When you get to electric, it's quiet.
Oh, it's nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah. So, these are the things that we're adjusting to. But those are the things I would say that if you in those lines of business, I think that you will have a successful career if you do it right.
Over the pandemic, we were able to bless 1 million families with groceries.
Wow.
Food banks all over Georgia have run out of food. And one of the things that really helped save us was not grants. It wasn't celebrities. It was black farmers. So black farmers started sending us their surplus because restaurants were closed.
Yep.
And I want you to talk about because the ratio of black farmers, Derrick, has dropped by 85%. Nobody's being pushed into that area. I want you to talk about it as a restaurateur, how important it is that we are also in that industry as well.
Well, the restaurant industry right now is down 25%. Right?
Wow.
So
let me pause you right there. I read something. I don't want to forget it. Last summer, 3,000 restaurants closed in New York.
Yes, it's terrible right now, and that's another thing too. if you have any business, you got to learn how to pivot.
Yeah.
Whatever that pivot is, you got to find out what can you do to involve the community so people feel like they involved in what you're building. So for me, I mean, you know, having 25% restaurants being down as a whole community, if you floating at 7 to 15%, you got a superstar business right now. You know,
Wow.
and you know, year to year, I'm always used to doing 90 to 100% year over year.
Yeah.
You know, and now I go to this market that's funny. I say, okay, how can I now keep Big Dave's AUV right? How can I now keep the customer base right? And how can I keep the food quality right when the economy is bad?
Wow.
You gotta be you. You gotta really open up and let these people into your life to make them feel what you're really trying to pitch. And for me, speaking of the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, I watched people run off on their employees. I watched businesses close next to me. I said to myself one day, and I said, you know what? I have to do something different. I got to stand up. I got to show these people that I ain't just a talker. I'm here.
Yeah.
So what I did was I fed 1,000 people the week of the pandemic when we first found out that it was getting bad. I had my employees in heater bags. Cars was pulling up, and we giving them people free food.
Amazing.
From that day on, I fed 40 hospitals every single day. I made it my duty. That was my Big Dave's now, feeding hospitals, because I didn't know what COVID-19 was. I had my N95 on, but what I'm saying to myself is, if these people are in these hospitals trying to save lives, somebody got to be there to help them out too. So if I can feed you, that's what I'm going to do. Do you know that put me on every national outlet it was at the time? That made me $2 more million that year at the time. When everybody else was struggling, I was gaining.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for me to say, oh, I'm a put it out there and see if people bite the hook and what I can make more money. It was like me really feeling for these people and saying, you know what? If I'm going to go out with a bang, and the people going to know that I was there to go out with that bang with them.
No, I love it. At this ticket to watch, having success, having notoriety, being recognized all over the world through different communities.
Yeah.
What are you now hungry for?
Man, let me tell you my dream.
All right.
I'm about to give you the biggest dream of it all, and it's not money. So now that I got 5 kids, this dream used to be just for 1 kid, but now I'm dreaming for 5 kids. I wanna drive in a car one day, and I wanna take a road trip with my kids. And on those X's on them blue signs, I want Big Dave's there, and they ain't looking at McDonald's.
Wow.
And I can say, come on, let's go check this one out. Let's see how they run in this location.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. I wanted my father's name to live on. I made my dad name more famous than he was alive, and that was my goal.
Yeah.
So my goal, you know, is one day just having that feeling. And I know I'm going to get to that feeling, and I'm going to have my kids in the car, and we're going to be road tripping, and we might be somewhere in Massachusetts, wherever. Who knows where we at? And I can say, hey, look, this is Big Dave's right here. Let's go check it out. And we can walk in there just like regular civilians, not even knowing I'm the founder of the whole thing. But I want my kids to feel that, because if they feel that moment, it'd be something tangible what they want to hold on to. And that's what my dad did to me. If you watch somebody every single day bust their butt to make sure that you got food on the table and clothes on your back, and the extra activities and everything, he was always supportive. I want my kids to feel that same way with me when I'm dead and gone, and feel like they got to respect me and honor me, because everybody with money is going to get respected on earth. But what they going to say about you when you dead? That's what I care about.
No, that's powerful. I want you to encourage somebody, is some people who are listening who don't have a coach, don't have a mentor, but more than that, they don't have a father in their life. And so wherever it is that they are, I want you to just really just be their dad for a moment, and really push them in the right direction.
So I got a quote that I live by, and I say this every single day to myself. Sometimes I be in my own way, so I got to say this. Life is not a track meet, it's a marathon. It's all about how you end. Run your race. Don't watch nobody else race. Don't be in nobody else's lane, because God already got your lane written. As long as you keep driving your car and following your GPS, you're going to get the end of your roadmap. Because the biggest thing for us is just being in our own way, looking at somebody else's success or saying, how come it happened with them? But you don't know how many failures they had to get there. You look at people like Samuel Jackson, Steve Harvey, any of these guys. You look at the success they having right now, but they didn't get on until they was 40.
Wow.
So what did they do out of the other 40 years? They worked.
Yeah.
You only see what you see on social media. Yeah. I'm almost 10 years in my company, and people only say now was, hey, you got 3 locations in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You just franchising. But what about the days I couldn't pay my employees? What about the days where I had to be the electrician? What about the days I had to be the plumber? What about the days when I sit and cry when nobody clapping for me and I'm sitting there saying, God, I spent my last money and this is what I'm going to do? Nobody don't know those stories.
Yeah.
So I want people to understand, like, those are the beautiful stories of what's going to make you great. That's what's going to make you be the person you want to be, because you're going to remember all of those things. You said it early on. The bad things, the roller coasters, those things is what's going to make you be great. You appreciate it more when you struggle through something to get everything you wanted and everything you gained.
I love it. A lot of people are listening to this podcast. They're only watching it exclusively on JamalBryant.org. That's how they're able to see you. I got to ask you this question.
Let's go.
How are you around cheesesteaks every day and in shape?
Hey, brother-in-law, what I do? I'm in the gym 2 times a day.
Wow.
I work out 2 times every day,
Wow.
morning and at night. Listen, working out has become an addiction to me because it's a different type of high. It's a mind, body, and soul type of high. If I can not feel like working out, and I can go in my garage and I can punch my punching bag and I can lift weights and I can do all these things I don't feel like doing, how can anything stop me in this world in business?
I love it.
Because I'm going to do everything I don't feel like doing. The biggest thing is going against your own will. When you wake up in the morning and you roll over in your pillow and you be like, 5 more minutes, you already lost.
Woo.
You already lost.
I lost today.
You already lost.
I needed another 5 minutes.
You already lost. Because
Wow.
I used to be that 5 minutes, but guess what?
Yeah.
Why you wasting that 5 minutes? Somebody else learning your job.
Woo.
That's how I look at it. It's somebody out there right now want to be the next big thing with the sandwich thing.
Yes.
Look, I got 1 million people selling egg rolls right now, making cheesesteaks. I got seafood spots doing cheesesteaks, everybody. But the one thing people got to understand is you got to stay in your lane, what makes you great.
Yeah.
You can't do stuff that other people do that make you think that you're going to jump the ladder, because ain't no elevator to heaven.
Wow.
It ain't one.
No.
And ain't no elevator to success.
Yeah.
You got to literally go through every step, every year, getting to different levels of your success to get there. Until the world make you a household name, you ain't make it.
I love it. I'm grateful. It messed up my last question because I was going to ask you, did you bring me a cheesesteak today? But I'm going to the gym.
You know you got lifetime cheesesteak.
Oh, no. Make sure your staff knows that. I'm grateful. I'm telling you, wherever it is that you are, if there's not a Dave's cheesesteak near you, it is coming soon.
Very soon.
I'm not talking about a movie. I'm talking about a franchise. You got to dream bigger than where it is that you are. Maybe your dream is not the size of God. He doesn't want you to just have one, but he wants you to multiply through the earth. You've stretched my faith today for me to be able to believe bigger and stronger and greater.
You'd be surprised how much I watch you, man.
Man, I'm grateful.
I'm grateful, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have listened to the latest episode of Jamal Bryant's podcast, Let's Be Clear. For more, you got to go right now to JamalBryant.org. I'll see you next time.